Yo, what up, YouTube? It's your boy Zai. Yeah, still the same shirt. This is a video that I just made a video, so now I'm gonna go ahead and make this one because a lot of people tend to have a lot of things twisted. Now, before I get into that, man, you see that knot? A lot of people like, oh, like man, if I would have got hit with something, it's still there. It's basically when I got out, it just started developing. It's like a fatty tumor or whatever. They can have it sliced out and pulled out, but then it would leave a little scar on my face, which might actually give a little character, but that's besides the point, man. Basically, I'm gonna get into this whole shit about activity because a lot of people tend to get it twisted, man. When I say active, or active or inactive, people tend to put in the category. If you're non-active, then you're PC, and if you're active, then you're active after participating in gangbanging. Understand this, man. There's another level of being active, and that's still being with the shits. You may be a grown man about your business, doing your family thing, but you're still willing to handle your business if need be. You're not one of these cats that say they're inactive and it had nothing to do with PC, but you feel you're at that age to where you can condone certain shit, you can interact with certain people, and you're basically your own man now. Which at the end of the day, we're our own man anyway. We may follow certain rules, but we're still our own man because we choose to do what we do. A lot of these trash bags that be on the internet that are no good, these dudes could have they chose to do what they wanted to do, and they went to a yard that was no good. They chose to run with child molesters and everything else up under the sun that's unsavory, outside of the unsavory characters that like myself that was in there for shootings and stuff like that. But that's besides the point, man. If you hear me say active, it doesn't mean that I'm on the street actively participating in gangbanging. If you see me and you hit me up, I'm going to tell you where I'm from. It's not to seek problems. It's not to make you be like, oh, well, F your hood. That's your choice as a man to disrespect my hood, and it's my choice as a man to bust your shit. It's just what it is. I've seen, and that's not a call to, to provoke anybody. It just is what it is. I'm one of those cats that is still about my hood, but I'm not on the street looking to blow fools down. I'm at that age to where it's like I get busted with anything. That's another strike, and I'm gonna get stretched out. And I've beat cases that should have been life. You know what I mean? And the last one was a prime example. Instead of getting life for a premeditated attempted murder, broke it down and end up getting, only 14 years, whatever. But with that being said, man, there's so many different levels to activity. You got fools that are still, they say they're active, meaning that they're still part of the cause. Doesn't mean that they're going on missions or doing that, because they ain't in prison. They're on the streets. And unless you were messing with certain people, you're just a normal individual on the street that just happened to be from a gang and still about your business. That is active. Activity is for the motherfuckers that's on the street actually looking for other gang members that they don't get along with and trying to blow them down, or on the internet constantly disrespecting their enemies in hopes that their enemies will come and try to get it in the flesh. Some people, that's their thing. They love to provoke. But these are the dudes that are with the activities. I'm active in a way that I won't allow you to disrespect me or my integrity as a man. I've shed a lot of blood for what I represent. So to allow you to disrespect me as a man would make me a bitch. And some people are able to see beyond that. Which you see, I've seen cats, like I said, my enemy, which supposedly you lived in my neighborhood or you did this and that. Understand this, dog. The last time I ran into your homies was at a gas station, and they were about to get blown down in that truck. Plain and simple. It's a story for the cops that be liking to watch my shit. But understand this, man. Like I said, I'm with all that. You disrespect me, I'm with that. But I don't go out of my way to look for it. I barely even go to my neighborhood now because we're just on two different pages. You got youngsters, they're still wild. I'm an old man, so it's like basically what I'm gonna do, sit there and try to give them lectures. And don't get me wrong, I give my homeboys glass shot, as far as like what they can do better, you know what I mean, in order to avoid hitting that cage. But at the end of the day, it's like you can only say and do so much and only get and the thing is, my younger homies don't disrespect me. They don't come at me sideways, and they ain't necessarily the ones that be like, I ain't trying to hear that. It's not that type of them. They listen, but they still do what they do. They're, you know, and that's all I can do as an older homie. I'm not the type to send my homies on missions. If I feel that strongly about something and I'm willing to put shit in jeopardy, that means I'm willing to put my own life in jeopardy and my you know, and my own freedom. I'm not gonna send some young ass homie to do something that I feel like, if it comes down to it, that I could do myself. With that being said, learn the difference between active and people that are with the activities. A lot of people are still actively participating in some way or another. Just going to my neighbor, that's a form of participation, but it's not out there actively participating. When you get this age, it just really doesn't make no sense for you to still be going on missions. And I got all paperwork and a track record of putting in work to back up exactly what I talk about when it comes to solidifying my neighborhood and being one of the fools that really put it down for the hood. I can say that with 100% satisfactory. And though it may be negative, I still can say that I was, if not that fool from my hood, putting in a gang of work. But like I said, your street reputation means absolutely nothing. At the end of the day, it's what you do after that. You know, what can you accomplish after that? What can you bring to the table as far as like to your homies? How can you, you know, get them to go a different route with it? Before, I'm like, in my head, you gangbang from the time that you get in till you die. That's how I see it. You can be in your 60s, and if you're from the hood, you're from the hood. That's how I saw it. But now it's like, when I talk to the homies, I try to get it to like, hey, you know, you get around, you know, if you really want to be involved with it, that's cool. You get around 25, man, just kind of slide back. If you ain't went to prison yet, then you didn't got lucky. You know what I'm saying? So just, you know, start focusing more on this, you know, and then there's another generation, regardless of, is going to come after that. A lot of us get stuck in this sense that if we stop, our hood is going to die. But some things are meant to die. But the way things are going, my hood ain't dying. So I don't have to go out of my way to be doing all types of crazy shit at my young old age in order to continue the system. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's all I really want to say on that, man. You know, for the cats that constantly come on my channel and be like, oh yeah, are you active or non-active? Still active. Straight out. Still active. Just not actively participating in certain shit. It is what it is. Just me getting on social media and saying my neighborhood. Pay attention to the cats that really just not involved at all. They're just not, they're not interacting with their homies. See, I'm not the type to shun my homies. You got cats that they get out and they want absolutely nothing to do with their hood, because at the end of the day, they never were really with it in the first place. And the ones that were, that do that, there's something wrong. You should get out and try to guide your homies. You know what I mean? And if you can't get it the way you want it, as far as like them listening to you, then you go on about your business. At least you tried. And that's what you do. That's why I say a lot of cats have failed, because they run into a few obstacles and give up. I don't. I know there's a few of my homeboys that really want to do something with their life, and they're really trying to establish businesses the right way and really trying to get to the next level. They don't want to be seen as that broke fool hanging in the hood, smoking weed and drinking and doing absolutely nothing. They want shit. And some of them have seen me on YouTube and see like, damn, the older homie is almost fucking nearly 50 and this fool still doing it, like, and this fool, you know, and in the right way, you know what I'm saying? So it's motivation. And to be honest, cats may not say it, but I've motivated a lot of channels to do what they do. A lot of fools thought that it wasn't able to be did because they had heard so many rumors. But now that they see the real, that as long as you keep shit to a certain degree of you're good. Just don't stay out of people's business. Don't be overzealous to get involved in certain things, and you're good, and you can do what you want. And there's people that pay attention to me because they just like that I sit here and that I'm relatable. A lot of fools have been in my shoes and have done what I've done, just in a different sense and in another time. But for the most part, we've all felt the struggle. A lot of us have been incarcerated, and some that haven't even been incarcerated have been mentally incarcerated because they've been stuck in a certain rut for a long time. People can say what they want, dog. The double S have not got the shine the way they should be. And when it's channels like mine and other homies that are really out there doing, we getting our shine. And sometimes it might be negative attention, but at the end of the day, as long as people keep our name coming out their mouth, that double S propels into the spotlight constantly. When people don't want it no longer in the spotlight, then that's when it will die. But until then, it is what it is. And that's all I can really say on that, man. Learn the difference between activities. You know what I mean? You got active, actively participating. You got non-active, and then you got dropouts. Fools that are just trash. You got fools that just, they're not active at all. A lot of the shit that have been taught, they really don't mess with no more. So they choose to go on about their way instead of being one of those fools that end up bumping their head and end up in that non-active trash area. You know what I mean? So they give up. It's, you get to a certain age and it's like boom. And I'm sure at some point that will be me. You know, it could be tomorrow. I might wake up tomorrow and be like, you know what, man, I'm cool, you know, and focus more on YouTube and less on the whole double S thing. But that's yet to be determined. You know what I mean? Nothing has really made me want to do that. You know, and so I gotta represent. But besides that, man, you already know my other channel, FMO ENT. I still got Zazbin Trife. I'm gonna start uploading on that too. For the people, hey, if you want me to start going live, man, drop it in the comments. You know, I don't care if you're my hater. And plus, I want to get on live and talk about this whole music thing anyway, because, you know, people constantly want to talk about it. But yeah, we can talk about the whole age thing, what the negative side, the stigma of certain music. We can go into all that. You know, some people are starting to talk the whole Illuminati thing. Like, come on, dude. Like, 25,000 subs, dude. Like, that makes no sense. But with that, I mean, if that'll get me to 1 million, go ahead and say I'm Illuminati. You know what I mean? Which, yeah, I don't covet pedophiles. We smash them. But that's besides the point, man. I'm going to go ahead and end this video because I've been rambling. I got a few more videos. There's some that I really want to talk about, but I'm just waiting until they get cleared. And then, you know, then I'll speak up on them. And I know your boy Zod. I'm out.